Yeah, I mean, if you look at a trend, or if you look at the Black Queens in these tournaments, they show that they started very slowly. They lost their first game against South Africa. The next game they drew against Mali, and against Tanzania, they won with a thumping result, 4-1 victory. That was the first time they recorded a 4-1 scoreline margin since '98. So it tells you the kind of progress that this team is making in these tournaments. And I have personally had the opportunity to see the Black Queens game against Tanzania, and you can feel the kind of work that is going into these Black Queens team, and the kind of progress that they are demonstrating in this team. I want to single out Chantel for her performance and the kind of leadership she showed in the game against Tanzania. And you can feel it in a post-match conference, where you could feel the passion, you could feel the spirit in the game. Came in to do the job. They came in to influence the game. It was 2-1. It was very risky. Most teams don't like to defend a one-goal lead in a game, and they needed to find a way to see out that game. And then she brought that energy, that drive you needed to be brought in the game. And once she came in, she won the free kick, and then she as well made a pass for Chantel to score that fourth goal. So I mean, yeah. So I think her influence and the fact that most of the players that had the opportunity to come into the game gave their all is very impressive to see. Evelyn Bredu as well was not part of the starting 11. She came in the second half, scored that third goal to give us that breathing space that we needed in that game. Given our story in the tournament so far, the fact that we scored the first against Mali, we needed to calm that kind of nerves, that kind of fear that we could concede very late on in the game. So for Bredu to come in the game, keep her concentration and score that goal was very impressive. So I have a lot of hope in this Black Queens team. I see that they are a team, they are playing with passion, they are playing with a lot of spirit. I just hope that they can replicate this kind of performance going to the quarterfinal game against Algeria. So I'm looking forward to that game tomorrow against Algeria. But they deserve all the plaudits for that performance against Tanzania the last time out.
Mike, the last time we were, I think it was Friday like this, and then we were watching them against Mali. Oh, let's look at the constructs and performance, and then against Mali we were just not great enough. But let's look at against Tanzania, how brilliant we were.
Yeah. I think against the Tanzanian side, I think we did appreciate that. Yeah, Tanzania were obviously going to be more or less the team that we are expecting to gain points over, and I think their confidence was boosted by the very fact that they were able to draw against the defending champion, that is the South African side, the Bayana side of South Africa. Yeah. So most people are like, okay, well, it looks like it's a tournament that the dark horses or the teams that we call the minnows were going to really live up to the billing for us to see something different there. So I wasn't surprised how we gave them much respect there. I think at the game got very nervy, especially in the first half, because of the fact that we took an early lead, as it has been very idiosyncratic or very characteristic of us. But surprisingly, we had to come back. They had to equalize, and we had to fight our way back. In fact, I admire the trickery and the pace and the ingenuity of the quality quality displayed by Princess Mafo, who due to her foul cost made us get that penalty that shot us in front by 2-1 there. It was clearly a team. I've listened to Kemlas, who has more or less praised the team, that his team is the strength of his team is the teamwork that exists amongst them. And I think the very fact that we also have some players like Stella Nyamiche and co, who can come on and be the game changer for us there. There's been a lot of talk about if she should probably start in that particular game.
I was about coming there. How do you have followed the team quite well, Michael, yourself? Others have always argued that we should start with our best players. Yeah. And it looks like the coach fancies putting our best players on the bench. What do you think? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of such commentaries. I mean, he assembled a team. The most important thing, or the most important takeaway from that game, is the fact that we've got players that are willing to come in and do the job for the Queens. And the fact that we managed to win the game with that kind of team. I believe he had a certain tactics in mind to have assembled the squad that he did. At least we should credit him for the fact that we managed to win that game when we needed to win, and the fact that most of these players have not really lost their heads because of the fact that they felt they should be starting. He knows the strategy is mapping out. I feel like coaches need to be given the space to do their work. You don't know the kind of performances they put in and the kind of things the coaches expect from them tactically. So we may sit and run commentary on the fact that this player deserves to start over this player. But once the coach does what he does and gets the results that we want to see, I mean, the commentary should be focused on how the coach has done really well and the fact that these girls have really learned how to play as a team. Regardless of how good you are, once the coach has made a decision to leave you on the bench, you don't have to lose your head. You have to always have it at the back of your mind that you can come in and influence the game at any time. And that's exactly what those two substitutions did. We saw what Evelyn Buedu came to do in the game, and we saw what Stella as well came to do in the game as well. So I think in that regards, the coach deserves a lot of plaudits. I'm not one to be interested in what individual player is doing. I'm interested in what the team can do and what the teams can profile in terms of how they can beat opponents. And I think in this game, he clearly showed that he has what it takes to outwit his opponents. And I hope that we can continue this pattern in our next game against Algeria.
Like we're playing against Algeria, many Ghanaians were just expecting us to just qualify out of the group and any opponents that we get, we go and beat. But I think we've been fortunate to meet Algeria. It's not Zambia. It's not
fortunate,
yeah, like Algeria, I think is a very fair opponent because this is not Zambia. You are not playing Morocco or you are not playing Nigeria. It's Algeria. Like, is it winnable?
I think it's winnable. I think that the team is very motivated. I'm happy for the fact that one thing that has been our nemesis or our weakness is going into tournaments is the fact that we would have players, complaining about, bonuses and what have you. I think that from what we are hearing from the quarters of the ministry, that has been sorted. So the players are charged up from that perspective there. Also, by the very fact that we are also motivated by the very fact that this is the first time we are making it out to this level in how many years? Since 2016, that should be, we're doing about 9 years there. We are seeking to get to the final. The last time we did that was in 2006. That should be how many years now? We're looking to as many years down the line there. Over the years, we've seen other teams come to eclipse us in terms of, football on the continent. You talk about likes of Equatorial Guinea, the likes of, Zambia themselves, South Africa. But I think this is the opportunity for Kim Last to know that, yes, he's up against a team or a manager that has a lot of experience under his belt compared to him, that is Bentiti, who is the coach of the Algerian national team. I listened to one of his pressers and he says whenever he's coaching the Algerian national team, he believes that it is more or less showing appreciation to his father. I think he's a French, Algerian, so that is more or less to his fatherland. So and in terms of even technical, in terms of experience, he has a lot. This is a coach that has formerly coached or a former coach of Olympic Lyon's, female team. Yeah. In fact, won 4 championships with them, Frank women's division 4 times with them. In fact, 2010, he led them to the Champions League women's division final for them to be beaten by Turban Potsdam. So, it's experience again.